Okay, so good morning again. Welcome to our class, Household Resource Management. So, our topic for this day is all about energy management. When it comes to energy saving, energy management is all about monitoring, controlling, as well as conserving your energy. So, the demand of the homemaker when it comes to energy varies according to the different stages. So, uh, as the topic that we have discussed last time, the family life cycle or the stages of the family life cycle, we have the stage one, that is the beginning family stage. Energy demands are usually at the lowest during this stage. So, if the homemaker works outside the home, she must learn how to divide her energy between her work and, of course, her home responsibilities. And the busiest years for the homemaker is usually during the stage two, because that period or that stage is where the family is expanding. Young children require more care, and after the children start going to school, there are certain demands uh, about your energy, both inside and outside the home. Okay. And when the children reach college age or they begin to leave home, that is the stage three, the contracting stage begins. Okay. As their energy loads lighten at home because their children maybe they are married, and you are welcoming new members in your families. Okay, sometimes your energy supply or your energy demands in this stage may diminish. Okay, kasi they have their own life na, yung mga anak ninyo. So, you have more free time to do whatever you want. Okay? So, we have here the energy cost of households and occupational activities. So, the energy costs change according to the combination of the types of efforts used for each activity. So, in order to have a well-balanced energy expenditure pattern, the homemaker need to know the energy costs of various activities. So, as you can see here, we have the different household tasks. We have here from moderate or from light to moderate to heavy. Okay, so these household tasks are classified according to energy costs. So, such as light, moderate, heavy. Okay, for proper utilization of energy, you have to determine which among those household tasks are in this are classified into light, to moderate, and heavy. Okay, so as you can see here, we have some examples of household tasks which is under the light. Okay? So, ito yung mga magagaan na trabaho. We have the hemming, knitting, crocheting, darning, hand sewing, machine sewing machine, or okay, and then preparing meals, washing dishes, dusting furniture and floors, as well as sweeping kitchen floor. While the moderate household tasks, we have here using carpet sweeper, vacuum cleaner, polishing furniture, kneading dough, wringing clothes with electric wringer, hanging clothes from buckets, cleaning utility table, and ironing. And we have the heavy household tasks. We have scrubbing floor, mopping, waxing, floor, taking out and hanging laundry, washing kitchen floor, bed making, lifting heavy buckets of wet clothes, and lifting young children. So in the light household task, you consumed 1.42 calories per minute. Okay? Well, so moderate, we have 2, 3.5. Okay? Sa heavy naman, 3.5 to 4.5 calories per minute. Okay? So, again, we have sa light, 1.4 to 2, moderate, 2 to 3.5, and sa heavy, 3.5 to 4.5 calories per minute. Okay? Next. Okay, so we have here the efforts used in homemaking activities. So whatever may be the activity or job to be performed, okay, it requires several types of efforts. So these are some efforts used in homemaking activities. We have mental effort, visual effort, manual effort, dorsal effort, and pedal effort. So each effort demands different quantity of energy expenditure. Okay? When you say mental effort, it requires you to do any task, even the routine task, okay, like cooking, cleaning, washing, and so on. Okay, though these tasks are performed daily, still one has to think about the way in which it has to be performed, and it should be mentally organized. Okay? Para sequence yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng paggawa ninyo ng inyong mga tasks. Okay? Next, we have visual effort. So, all the activities involve visual effort. Okay? Although, we are not aware of it. Okay? Kasi yan yung nakikita natin. Okay? Yung effort natin na tinitingnan yung bawat trabaho. Okay? Next, we have the manual effort. So, it requires for all the household activities to be performed. Okay? Manual. Like cooking, cleaning, mopping the floors, what else? Sweeping the floors, washing your clothes, and so on. Okay? And then we also have dorsal effort. So in here, it involves the movement of your dorsal. Okay? This include yung bending, leaning, racing, okay, turning, okay. So when it requires the movement of your dorsal, it is under the dorsal effort. Okay. Next, some activities in the house involve the use of legs and feet movement. So that is under the pedal effort. Like standing, walking, okay, climbing the stairs, okay. So since the whole body needs to be moved around these activities, it has heavy energy demands, okay. Next, we have, okay, so household activities, by the way, requires a combination of more than one type of effort. So hindi lang isa ang gumagalaw, okay. You need these different types of effort in order for you to have a well-balanced energy expenditure, okay. Next, we have ways of controlling energy expenditure. So there are many ways which you can control energy, especially to reduce your fatigue, okay? But all methods do not suit to every situation, okay? So in any given job, energy consumption can be reduced by developing an improved mental attitude towards the work to be done. So you have to improve your mental attitude, okay, if you have work. What else? Eliminating unnecessary steps or combining new steps and processes in working. Okay? So, kapag hindi na kailangan na gawin yun, okay, you remove it. What else? Kung may mas mabilis na paraan on how to do a certain job, you do it. Okay? For you to control or to save your energy. Next, arranging steps in any activities in a sequence. So, that's important. You have to know ano yung mga uunahin ninyo. And then, yung sequence ng ng inyong mga job, okay? Ng inyong household tasks. Next, using efficient equipment and other materials for convenience. If you have some equipment to do a certain task, much better kasi mas madali ang trabaho. Next, arranging needed equipment and other materials according to convenience. So still under equipment. And of course, maintaining correct body posture while working. Okay? So you have to maintain your body posture while working. Okay? Para ma-control natin yung energy and of course, para maiwasan nating magkaroon ng pilay. Okay? Para maiwasan yung masaktan tayo. And of course, developing rhythm in doing work, improving skills and techniques. And of course, we have here doing work with rightly spaced adequate rest periods. Developing motivating conditions in work situations. So that's the different ways. So in controlling your energy expenditure. Now let's move on to body mechanics. So when it comes to body mechanics, it deals with the body movement. So it is defined as the science dealing with body forces and motions. The word mechanics suggests a relationship to the functioning of the body. And as was aptly stated by Esther Crew Bratton, your own body constitutes your most important item of household equipment. Okay? So it is well worth the effort it takes to acquire understanding of how the body functions in work and to develop skill in using the body effectively. That's why it is important that you have this body mechanics. Okay? Now let's move on to principles of body mechanics. There are 5 important principles of body mechanics as given below. We have the first one, keeping body parts in alignment results in stability. Okay, that's why it is important that body weights are correctly positioned. Okay, dapat nakaposition siya. When any part of the body gets out of line, of course, your muscular effort is required to maintain body balance. In addition to whatever work the body is doing. Okay, therefore, correct and the right posture should be maintained by the person. For instance, when you're sitting, when you're standing, you have to maintain your right and correct body posture. Okay? Next, using muscles effectively. Okay, so in here, for instance, your leg muscles being stronger than your back muscles should be used for lifting heavy objects. Okay, so we have proper way on how to lift those heavy things that you want to lift. Okay, when lifting a heavy sofa, okay, the legs should be slightly bent. Okay, so yung legs po natin, ang binibend natin, hindi yung ating likod. Okay, so that's the right or the proper procedure on how to lift an object. Okay, next, rhythm in movements. So in household, there are many activities that can be done rhythmically. For instance, in dishwashing, when all the plates of one size are washed in sequence, the hands and arms develop certain rhythmic movements in handling those plates. Okay. What else? Sweeping, running the vacuum cleaner, okay, and ironing the clothes. They all provide recognized possibilities for a regular flow of motions. Okay? Kasi pag nagsusweep ka, syempre, pag ganon ang iyong kamay. What else? Vacuum cleaner, ganon din. And of course, yung ironing, ganon din. Okay? So, merong rhythmic movements or motions. Okay? So, in that manner, it will help you to manage your energy effectively. Okay? Next, considering the center of gravity, both of the body and of articles handled. So considering the center of gravity is importance in lifting, supporting, or carrying a certain object. Okay? And also, yung pag mag-abot ka, okay, ng object. It is always important that you have to keep the object close to the body or to the center of gravity. Okay? So, kapag mag-abot ka, okay, dapat mas kumuha ka ng upuan to get that object. When you lift, ano pa, dapat malapit sa katawan mo. Okay? Ano pa, yung supporting, dapat sinusupport niya. Okay? Dapat nasa nandun siya sa body mo, na kaya mo siya, yung gravity nandoon sa center. Okay? Next. Okay. Taking advantage of momentum. So it means the avoidance of stops and starts and of change of speeds. Okay, so this is also similar to rhythmic movements. So meron tayong free-flowing motions at the least. Okay? Para maiwasan din natin yung maubos yung energy natin sa paggawa natin ng mga gawaing bahay. Okay? So, dapat yung motion natin flow and smooth. Okay? Smooth yung flow ng ating motion. Okay? For instance, in polishing or dusting the floor, okay? Or the furniture rather. Okay? So, meron siyang proper way on how to do that. So, pagkatapos nun, yung susunod na gagawin mo is dapat parang ganun din yung style, like sweeping. Okay? What else? Ironing the clothes. Okay? So, taking advantage of momentum. So, those 5 are the principles of body mechanics. Now, let's move on to the posture. So posture involves keeping the natural balance of the body stable, whether sitting, standing, or moving. According to Gross et al., 1973, in correct posture, whether standing, sitting, or using a tool, muscles constructed to do certain things to them. In incorrect posture, muscles not so constructed must do the job. When any part of the body gets out of line, muscular effort is required to maintain body in balance in addition to whatever work the body is doing. Okay? So body positions and motions are the key to effective body use. Okay? So to avoid strain and to develop a good body carriage while working, you should give your attention to your posture habits. Okay, yung proper sitting, proper standing, proper lifting of an object. Okay, proper bending. So you should have a good posture when doing your household tasks. Para maiwasan ding tawag doon, masaktan kayo. Okay? Next. Body forces. So pushing, pulling, and lifting are the 3 important activities in which the body forces are applied. All 5 principles of body mechanics have to be taken into consideration while performing these activities. So the pushing, pulling, and lifting are the 3 important activities in the body forces. Okay? So we have here the first one, the fatigue. Okay. So fatigue, forms and causes, we have, okay, before we go to the forms and causes, let's have the meaning of fatigue. It means tiredness from physical work or lowered capacity to perform subsequent work. On the basis of anatomy of the body, if after work, body's capacity to do the work reduces or the body is unable to do the work as before, it is called fatigue. Fatigue signifies a reduced performance of work. So, ito yung physical exhaustion natin. Okay? What else? Ito yung pagod na tayo. Feeling of tiredness. Okay? And we have the desire to stop working. that is what we call fatigue. Okay? So when you have fatigue, of course, our body's capacity to do the work is reduced. Okay? Now let's move on to the different forms of fatigue. We have here the physiological fatigue, okay? Sometimes also called as tissue physical impairment. So it is a fatigue occurred due to the physical exhaustion. So in here, attitudes toward household tasks and the energy demands for specific tasks combined with your physical feelings, okay, of adequacy in carrying out those activities. And of course, the characteristics of the workplace, okay, this have been related to the feelings of fatigue, okay. So posture is important in performing a certain task. Kasi kapag nagkaroon tayo ng imbalanced posture while performing a task, sometimes nagkukos ito ng physiological fatigue. Okay? Kaya nagkakaroon ng alignment, okay, or hindi na aligned rather, okay, hindi na align yung ating body posture, okay, hindi maganda yung posture natin, okay. Next forms of fatigue, we have the non-physiological or psychological fatigue or subjective fatigue. So this fatigue can again be subdivided into two types. We have boredom fatigue and frustration fatigue. Okay. When you say boredom fatigue, this results from non-coincidence of experiencing two durations of time, that of work from being slow and irksome, and that of the mind which longs to be elsewhere. So we experience the activity as continuing without change, whereas the mind is ready and eager for change. Okay? So parang bored tayo na gawin yung household task na yon. Okay? Next, frustration fatigue. So this pattern involves feelings of limpness, bodily discomfort, and general tension, which are undesirable, as well as result in inadequacy for activity. Okay? The feelings of discomfort and aversion to work, okay, should not be considered as the symptoms of fatigue, but they are the fatigue itself. For instance, when one plan fails, okay, it doesn't work out, okay, or nagkaroon ng conflict situations, doon tayo nagkakaroon ng frustration, okay, kaya na yun yung tinatawag natin na frustration fatigue. So this when a person may experience feelings of frustration and increased tensions, that is considered as frustration fatigue. Okay. Next, we have some situations in which we experience fatigue. Situations that are often associated with feeling of tiredness. So these situations, etong mga to, ito yung dito natin nararamdaman yung pagkapagod, balisa, tired. Okay? Yung fatigue na tinatawag. Okay? First one, a long period of mental or light physical work in a restricted or uncomfortable position. That's why it is important that you have the proper posture. Next one, a long period of work in a standing position. Pag masyado ka nang matagal na nakatayo, fatigue din ang mararanasan mo nun. Nakakapagod, right? What else? A long period of making continuous postural adjustment, such as when riding in a car. What else? A period possibly short of heavy physical exertion, working at a disliked task. Pag ayaw mo ng work, makakaramdam ka ng pagkapagod. Okay? Working at an unaccustomed task. Working at a task that requires close attention or extreme alertness. So, pag kailangang tutukan mo yung trabaho na yon, sometimes we experience fatigue also. Next, working under pressure. For instance, when meeting a deadline. That's the time na madalas nating nararamdaman na pagod tayo. Okay, kaya minsan naririnig natin yung mga reklamo, especially ng mga nanay natin. Okay? Or ng ating mga asawa. It's because, or yung father natin or mother natin. Okay? So, pag may minimit silang deadline, they are working under pressure, nakakaranas sila ng fatigue. Next, working without sufficient knowledge or information. So in here, kapag wala kang alam sa bagay na yun, talagang makaka-experience ka ng fatigue. Okay? Emotional stress, whether working or not. So if you have an emotional stress, you will also experience fatigue. Next one, we have the causes of fatigue. We have 3. The worker domain, work domain, and the workplace or environment domain. So worker domain, this is the person performing the work. So kung sino man yung gumagawa ng work or physical work, under siya ng worker domain. Pag sinabi naman nating work domain, that is the nature of work. Ano yung nature ng trabaho na yon? Pagdating sa household tasks, okay, ano yung mga work or nature ng work na meron tayo? So what are those? You could be a wife or a mother. So yung mga trabaho mo sa bahay. What else? If you're a teacher, a chef, ano pa? Counselor, gardener, ano pa? Those occupational roles. Pwede ding under pa rin siya ng work domain or the nature of work. Workplace or environment domain. Yung mismong workplace, kung saan mo ginagawa yung trabaho. So, it includes the equipment. So, kasama pa rin dyan ang equipment, yung supplies, the storage space, and of course, the workspace. For instance, the homemaker working at home, okay, may feel fatigue kasi alam niya na yung anak niya hindi pa dumadating sa bahay or merong may sakit sa pamilya. Okay, so pag nagtatrabaho siya sa bahay, nakaka-experience na siya ng fatigue. Okay, so yun lang. Inappropriate work climate is still under the workplace. Next, we have the methods of relieving fatigue. So these steps, we have here the methods on how you relieve your fatigue. The homemaker can take some of these steps listed below to remove or avoid fatigue so that she can continue to perform her works. Okay. First is rest period. So in between work, you have to rest also. Change of tasks. Okay, so the homemaker is responsible for a variety of tasks. And you can also alternate the different types of work, or you change your task. Next, putting interest into a job. So in here, you have to love your job as a homemaker. Next, an analytical approach to a job. So this comes through change procedure and actually reduces the physiological fatigue, and at the same time, it creates interest in the work itself. For instance, the homemaker will take more interest if she has to prepare the entire dinner, including the entire dessert, up to the or beginning from the soup or the appetizer up to the dessert. Okay? So, siguro, if a certain homemaker wants to do her own job, okay? So, kung gusto niyang gawin, hayaan niyo na siya. Okay? Hayaan niyo siyang gawin. Pero pwede rin kayong tumulong. Okay? Sometimes kasi, it will also help. Next, having proper workplace and proper equipment. So, good environmental conditions will also help to remove or to avoid fatigue. And of course, proper equipment. Okay? Lalo na pag maganda yung mga equipment na ginagamit mo, mas nakaka-reduce ng fatigue. Okay? Next, appreciation of the work. So you have to appreciate the work or your work as a homemaker. Kasi it will also motivate you to do the work more effectively. Next, giving incentive to the worker. So the homemaker can give incentive to her children to do the work. Like you want to, or you promise them that you will take them out if they will help you in that work or in your work, household tasks. Okay? Or pwede din na give them rewards after they do their own job. Okay? Kapag binigyan mo sila ng job. For instance, pag pinagugas mo sila ng plato, pwede din na bigyan nyo sila ng chocolates afterwards kung gusto nila. Pero sometimes, wag naman yung masyado. Okay? So, sometimes ay ibigay nyo naman sa kanila yung hindi naman madalas dapat ang rewards. Okay? But you give incentive pag maganda yung kinalabasan ng trabaho nila. Okay? Kasi baka mamaya, yun na lang ang lagi nilang inaasahan. Remember, you as a homemaker, you have to distribute all the household tasks to your children. Okay? Distribute it properly. Not always the children, pati kasama kayo as parents. Okay? You have to help one another to do your household tasks. Next. So we have here stress and its management. So we are now becoming aware of the part of physical environment in causing stress. So lagi tayong nagsasabi, nai-stress na ako. Okay? So nandun na rin yung fatigue. Stress may be defined in its medical sense as essentially the rate of the wear and tear caused by life. The rate of wear and tear stems from both physical and emotional causes. Stress occurs when the individual completing task assignment feels pressured, functions in an inadequate environmental situation, lacks sufficient or operable materials and equipment, or has damaging communication with supervisors. Okay, so these are some healthy tips for stress-related fatigue management. So, you can do this para ma-release yung inyong stress. First one, adopt a positive mental approach to exercises and diet and try to make them a part of your daily routine. So, exercise and diet, that's one way on how to relieve our stress. Okay? Next, adopt a healthy lifestyle by incorporating yoga and meditation in your routine. So, pwede rin to, yoga and meditation. Meron namang mga napapanood sa YouTube on how to do the yoga and meditation. Next, involve yourself in recreational activities such as reading, watching TV, listening to music, etc. As far as possible, try to walk the distance to your home, office, shopping area instead of traveling by a vehicle. Kasi sometimes, yung mga nakikita mo sa paligid mo, nakaka-relieve din siya ng stress. Next, involve yourself in hobbies such as embroidery, sewing, gardening, etc. So if you have hobbies, you do it. Okay? Kahit weekly basis lang siya. That's one way on how to relieve your stress also. Next, involve in outdoor games such as swimming, tennis, badminton, cricket, etc. This can be made to have more fun if the entire family takes part together in these games. So you can do outdoor games also. Another one, avoid eating fat-rich foods as stress busters. Instead, change the kind of work you are involved in. Take a break like reading, taking a walk, listening to music, talking to a friend or a relative in between strenuous physical work. So, avoid eating fat-rich foods. Okay? Huwag tayong magpapaka-stress eating. Kasi lalaki tayo, tataba tayo. Okay? Change the mindset of the family members by distributing housework among them and ease your workload. So you have to distribute your tasks as well. Next, group activities in the household should be encouraged by involving children and husband in household work. So you have to group your activities. Distribute some of your household tasks to your children, pati sa asawa ninyo. Next, avoid as far as possible arguments in the house and office affairs. Try to understand that just as you have an opinion, others too have a right to voice their opinion. Talk softly and try to reach a compromise. So, as much as possible, avoid arguments. Okay? So, following these tips would not only reduce stress-related or bodily related fatigue, but will also make family living enjoyable and comfortable. So these guidelines would provide a long-lasting, satisfying, and healthy atmosphere within your family. Okay, now let's move on to managing home-related activities. So we have here the worker. The worker is the person performing the job or the tasks. So the cost of worker input will have four broad components. So meron siyang four broad components. We have affective, which includes your attitudes, feelings, and interests. Cognitive is your knowledge. Temporal is the time of the worker and the timing of the task. And the physical is the use of your body in the work. Okay. Second one, we have the work or the job. So this is a specific activity that for any person does. Ito yung trabaho mo. Okay. Next, we have the management of energy applied to workplace design. So the functional design is the arrangement of the important parts to serve a special purpose. Characteristics of each part of the workplace must be designed to facilitate the performance of a specific task. To develop the physical design of workplaces, a number of aspects must be considered. When it comes to your workplace design, siguro napapansin niyo sa bahay, madalas inaayos ni mother yung ayos ng ating bahay. Kasi it will also help you to manage your energy. Kasi minsan, mas madali yung trabaho ni nanay pag maluwang at pag nagustuhan niya yung ayos ng workplace niya. Okay? So this must be considered. We have the location in vertical space, location in horizontal space, spatial arrangement of parts, amount and dimensions, and space for, and provision of special features. Okay, like yung utilities, ventilation, as well as yung lighting rather. Okay, hindi lightning ha, lighting. Okay, so that is under provision of special features. Next, we have here the work surface. So the height of the work surface must be keyed to the worker requirement of maintaining good working posture. So in here, this is the first part of work surface. Okay, the first is the height of the work surface. So, dapat titingnan din natin yung height ng work surface. Next, the width of the surface, side-to-side measure. So, depende yan sa homemaker kung ano yung gusto niyang width ng surface. And of course, the depth of the surface. The depth of the surface. It is determined by 3 factors. We have the distance, the activity, and the items. Okay? Sometimes the normal working area is 14 to 16 inches for women. And the maximum work area is 24 inches. Okay? So, depende naman yan sa work surface natin. That's all. So, thank you everyone for listening to my discussion. I hope you learned something today. Okay, so that's the last chapter of our lesson, household management or household resource management. Thank you everyone for listening. I'll see you on our next lesson. Okay? Bye.